as you start to grow as a live streamer and content creator, your brand's going to grow, your audience is going to grow, and your community is going to grow. And you want to have a better branding and you want to have a better visual representation of you. And that generally means you need to get custom graphics made. And when people ask me to review their channel or give some insight to it, I always lead them to Fiverr. And it's one of the best websites to get custom graphics. However, I get a lot of pushback on this, and that's because people are using Fiverr wrong. So in this video right here, I'm gonna show you the best tips I've learned that's gonna show you how to use Fiverr effectively and give you awesome results for your graphics. Let's go. Now, what makes me an expert on Fiverr? Well, plain and simple, I've been using Fiverr for a number of years, personally and for my business clients and customers. And I've learned all the correct ways to more or less figure out how to deal with the seller or storefront, so that way you get awesome results for what you pay for. And I want to share all of that information with you, so that way you can use it effectively to get exactly what you want or get what's in your head out onto a digital graphic. So here we go. Hey, full disclosure before we begin, yes, I am affiliated with Fiverr, and if you click through this link down below, you will help out my channel and you can help out yourself, because near that link is a coupon code that'll save you money on your first time purchase if you like what I'm about to show you. Now, when it comes to Fiverr and you using it effectively, comes down to two main things: communication with the storefront and seller, and having expectations for what you're paying for. And we're gonna dive into that, but let's go down the entire process of how I use Fiverr effectively. Now, let's say you found the seller in the storefront that you like. The very first thing you always wanna take a look at is review their work to see it falls in line with your style and brand. Look through their entire portfolio, and if they only have a couple of pictures, look down in their about gig or description, because they may have links that leads to their portfolio that give you a better representation of their skills and talents, so that way you know if it's the correct artist for you to get the vision out of your head onto that piece of paper or digital graphic. If you like their artists and you think their skills and talents are perfect for you, scroll down near the bottom, which is where you're gonna see their rating and seller reviews. This is really important because more stars means more things. If the more reviews they have and the more stars they have, that means they can take on a project effectively, means they can complete a project on time, and it generally means that they're gonna have a better representation of giving you your final product to exactly what you have, provided the next steps coming up. More stars, more reviews equals better. I would really stay away from the 1, 2, and 3 reviews and people that have no reviews at all. Now we can take a look and review the packages that are being offered and at what prices. Now, let me be real blunt here. Long gone are the days where you could go on Fiverr and pay $5 to get a graphic or any type of service. Fiverr has really upped its game in the past few years, and all of the artists and all the people that are now sellers on this platform expect to be paid for their services, for the products that they're pumping out. So don't go cheap. The cheaper you go on Fiverr, you're gonna get really crappy results. If you're gonna pay $5, $10, $15, you're gonna get work that looks like it only costs that much. You want to pay up for an artist that's going to give you the vision and the brand and the style that you want, because trust me, you're going to love it. No joke, there is a huge difference between these services that you can get from Fiverr that are cheap and budget friendly to the ones that are more professional and polished that may cost more money. Trust me, spend a little extra money here because you're going to get better results. When it comes to selecting a package, there's generally 3 that are offered in tabs: a low, a medium, and a high tier. Now, you decide on which one is best for you, because obviously it depends upon your budget and what you want. But within those tiers, I want you to be on the lookout for some key things that are mentioned. You want to look to see how they send it to you, what file format they send it to you in, what resolutions do you get, an ETA for completion, and if you are in a rush, don't be afraid to contact the seller to see if they have a rush option. May cost a little bit more money, but something to ask in the contact section, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a moment. And you want to make sure that you take a look to see how many revisions you get. Unlimited is best, but I would never go with an artist or seller that offers below 2 or 3 minimum revisions, because it's generally going to take a few more than that to get the final design that you want if you're paying for a good polished look. Another thing that you should be on the lookout for is if you get complete ownership of the work that you're paying for. A lot of artists on there maintain ownership rights. You can pay for them if you want the ownership rights, because you're going to do merchandise and print and things like that. You want to bring that up in the beginning, which is another thing you talk about in the context section, which I guess we should get into right now. When it comes to using Fiverr effectively, Communication is huge and is key. It's pivotal to get what is ever in your brain out to the artist so that way you get the product you want. So I really recommend contacting the seller before you even start your purchase process. So that way they know if they have the skills and the talents to accommodate and accomplish what you want done. It's gonna save headaches on both sides. This way you put down the roadmap for what you want, and it only takes just a few lines of text, so do it. Now, when you're reaching out to the seller in the storefront, you wanna ask about if you can use those graphics for multiple uses. Print, merchandise, different social media platforms. Now you're probably wondering why, and it has to do with owning the rights, which I'm gonna probably tie in at the very end of this video, so stick around. That's what we call a nice little tease, but it's something again that you also wanna bring up in the contact section. All right, so you found the seller and storefront you wanna go with. Awesome, congratulations, and you've started the purchase process. Again, you wanna have strong communication for when you're going through the purchase process, and I recommend giving them guidelines. Guidelines of how you want your product to be finished and sent back to you. And I really recommend you let them know important information like what colors to use. I like to use electric blues and electric yellows in my art because it's my brand that's associated with me. You also want to do the opposite. Let them know what colors to avoid because they may be throwing in accent colors. Hey, stay away from browns, greens, grays, reds, pinks, whatever it is. Let them know what to use and what not to use. It's extremely helpful if you can show the artist what styles and influences you're thinking your brand should go in. Let them know if it's going to be traditional, if it's going to be an anime style, caricature style, meme-ish style, Simpson-esque style. And don't be afraid to send them attachments or links to visuals that they can use to see how you're getting your influences from, so that way they know exactly what you want. Remember, when you send them these examples, we're not looking for an exact copy of these influences because we still want to make you unique and customized. So just say these are influences, that way they have something that's a jumping off or starting point, okay? One huge key thing that nobody thinks about on Fiverr when you hire somebody's services to make you something, especially when it comes to graphics, is all the little add-ons and extras that you should be thinking about. And you can negotiate some of this, which I recommend doing when you contact the seller because they can add it on for you. And the two main things, if you're a live streamer or content creator out there, is thinking about getting multiple larger resolutions and sizes of the graphics that you're gonna have done, because you're gonna wanna use them, like we said, on print or merchandise or social media platforms or for your YouTube videos. And those have to be way larger than just the basic small pixels that they're gonna be giving these graphics back to you out. You need them to be high quality images that are uncompressed in larger resolutions. Make sure you pay for those because you can use that for a whole host of things that'll make you more money down the road. In addition to that, if you go this route, remember, it's gonna be a little bit more money because these are added on services, but I really recommend paying or negotiating to find a happy medium of what sounds good for you and the seller. But I really recommend getting really high uncompressed resolution graphics. Now, when you get your graphics sent to and from the seller to you, don't be afraid to let them know how you truly feel. Be blunt, be honest, but be kind, obviously. So that way the revisions work with you. Give them visual examples back, let them know what you like and you don't like, so that way you get exactly what you do. Don't be vague. If you're vague and not concise and precise, you're gonna go through a ton of revisions and you're not gonna be happy. Be strict on your criticism and feedback, but be kind because they are human beings after all. Once you get your graphic that you like, I know it's gonna be awesome and you wanna pay it forward. You wanna build a rapport with this artist because you're most likely gonna use them again in the future if you like the graphics that they generate, because as a live streamer and content creator, you're always looking for more visuals and more graphics to use for your brand as it expands. And guess what? When you build that rapport, you also wanna give them a review and a rating because that way you help other people after you purchase. No joke, if you follow all this advice I just gave you in this video right now and you go on Fiverr services, hey, shameless promotion, use that link down below, and you find the artist that works for you and lay out this roadmap and open up your communications and don't go for the cheap, budget friendly, but pay for something that's a little more polished and refined, you're gonna get some awesome graphics and quality that's gonna really just bring your brand up, and people are gonna look at it and know at a moment's notice that that's you. And that is powerful. And that's what Fiverr can do if you want custom branding and custom graphics. Now, if you don't need anything that's custom, or you're just starting and dipping your toe in, you don't have a lot of money, hey, I got an awesome alternative for you. You can go to websites like Nerd or Die, or Streamlabs, or Owned, which all give you template-based products that you can use for fairly cheap or even free. I'm gonna put a couple of videos over to the side here that I really recommend you check out. That's gonna help you a lot. And until next time, wild for games, helping you become bigger and better. And man, is it hot here in California right now. Catch you all later, and of course, peace.